All right, let's get right into it. If you're someone who's been lifting for years, but you feel like you're putting in all this work and just getting weaker, more banged up, then you're going to want to hear this. We're going to explore a philosophy that pretty much flips the script on everything you might think about training as you get older. So the whole thing kicks off with this really powerful question. Picture this. Two buddies, both 50 years old. They started lifting together way back, like 35 years ago. Now, one of them, we'll call him Jack, looks over at his friend who's still in amazing shape, still hitting new PRs, and he just asks him this, straight up, out of total frustration. It's a question a lot of us end up asking ourselves, right? And you know, that frustration, it leads to what feels like this impossible wall. You hit a plateau where it seems like all the old rules just don't work anymore, and it honestly feels like your body is fighting you every single step of the way. And this really paints the picture of Jack's problem. I mean, look at this list. The guy's doing everything by the book. He's been consistent for decades, he eats right, he crushes it in the gym. But what's happening? He's going backwards. He's getting weaker, and even worse, he's getting these weird random injuries. From sneezing, of all things. It's that awful feeling that your own body is betraying you, and man, that is a tough place to be. So that brings us to the big question, the one we all want answered. If grinding it out and being consistent are supposed to be the magic keys, why do they suddenly stop unlocking the door? Why does that method we've always relied on, just train the muscles, train them hard, why does it start to fail us? Well, the answer, according to the source material we're looking at, is that we've been putting all our energy into the wrong thing. The problem isn't actually your muscles. The real problem, the root cause, is that the systems supporting those muscles are starting to break down. And boom, here it is, the core idea, the whole philosophy, in just one sentence. It's about a complete shift in focus. You stop just hammering away at the muscles, and you start actively working to rebuild the very systems that feed them, that repair them, and that tell them what to do. This is a big aha moment. And I love this analogy because it makes so much sense. Think of your body as a small town. Your muscles, those are the houses. Now, you can have the best construction crew on the planet ready to build more houses, but you can't do it if the roads are full of potholes, the water pipes are broken, and the stores have no food. Your body's internal infrastructure has to be solid enough to support the muscle you want to build. So let's actually break down what this infrastructure is, piece by piece. We're going to start with pillar number 1, which is maybe the most fundamental delivery system you have, your circulation. Okay, so here's the deal. As we get older, we literally lose tiny blood vessels, these things called capillaries, that deliver all the good stuff right to our muscle cells. That's a huge reason for age-related muscle loss, or sarcopenia. So the solution isn't just to go lift heavy, it's to use specific pump-style training, high rep sets, short rest, stuff that creates this massive, sustained pump. That pump sends a powerful signal to your body that it needs to build more pipelines for blood. It's a process called angiogenesis. You are literally forcing your body to rebuild its own supply lines. Okay, next up is the actual framework that holds your body together, your connective tissue. We're talking about more than just muscle now. This is all about your tendons, your ligaments, all that good stuff. Over the years, our connective tissue can literally start to dry out. It gets brittle, and that makes it way more likely to get injured. That's why Jack's knee could just give out. See, your body is smart. It has these protective governors built in, kind of like a kill switch that will actually limit your strength to stop you from tearing something. The fix? You use specific training to rehydrate that tissue, making it strong and flexible again. That sends a signal back to your brain that says, hey, it's safe to be strong again. So you're probably thinking, how in the world do you do that? Well, it's a really cool technique. First, you use heavy, sustained compression. Think holding a really heavy squat at the top for a bit. That squeezes all the old, stale fluid out of the tissue. Then, right after, you immediately decompress with a big stretch, like just hanging from a pull-up bar. It basically acts like a giant sponge or a bellows system, sucking fresh, nutrient-rich fluid right back in. You're creating circulation where there wasn't much before. All right, on to our last 2 pillars. These are all about getting more raw power out of the muscle you already have, and maybe even creating brand new muscle fibers. We're going to look at the number of fibers and the power of your nervous system. So pillar 3 is wild. As we age, we don't just shrink muscle fibers, we can actually lose them entirely. The goal here is to try and trigger something called hyperplasia, which is literally the splitting of existing fibers to create new ones.
Then pillar 4 tackles the nervous system. Over time, it just gets less efficient at firing signals. The goal here is to hack that system, to wake it up so you can activate more of the muscle you already have. It's like unlocking horsepower that's been sitting dormant under the hood.
And listen to this. The potential for growth here is just staggering. This number, 300%, comes from some animal research on hypertrophy. A very specific type of intense stretch training led to a 300% increase in muscle size. Now, it's not proven in humans yet, but it shows there might be this massive, untapped potential for growth we're not even touching.
And as for the nervous system stuff, the results there can be almost immediate. The source material talks about techniques that can give you an instant strength boost of up to 10%. I mean, think about that. That's like adding 30 pounds to your 300-pound squat in a single workout, just by getting your nervous system to work better.
So, when you pull it all together, all 4 of these pillars, rebuilding circulation, fortifying your tissues, increasing fiber number, and boosting nerve power, what you get is a totally new way of looking at training once you're over 40.
And really, the whole thing boils down to this fundamental shift in focus. You have to stop thinking about just training the muscles, just building the house. You have to start thinking about strategically rebuilding the body's entire internal infrastructure. Because when those support systems are strong and healthy, your muscles and your strength have the solid foundation they need to thrive, no matter how old you are.
And that brings us right back to our friend Jack. His whole mindset does a 180. He's no longer just a victim of aging, fighting this losing battle. Now, he's got a proactive game plan. He's not just trying to slow the decline, he's going to actively beat the decline. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to mull over. Take a hard look at your own training. Are you just putting another coat of paint on a house that's got a crumbling foundation? Or are you actually doing the deep, structural work that's going to make it strong and resilient for decades to come?